The blueprint of mercy, ark building, divine wisdom, and faith that heals. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. This is how you are to make it. The length of the ark 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. Prelude, the primordial scream, the voice from the silence, voice of cosmic trauma. Before the word that creates, there is the word that uncreates. Before the breath that gives life, there is the breath that takes life away. The eternal word, which is being itself, now speaks ending. This is the word that will extinguish the very breath of life under heaven, undoing creation itself. Voice of ontological terror, we witness the fracture of being when the God who is speaks the word that unmakes. Creation confronts its foundation and its termination. Voice of linguistic apocalypse. This word divides history, before and after. Divine violence unveiled as a manifestation of righteous love demanding judgment. Chapter 1. The divine determination. Genesis 6:13. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Voice of communicative impossibility. How does infinite being announce unbeing? The Creator speaks destruction over His own handiwork. Hebrew scholar. The verb amar used here creates and destroys. Divine speech is the arena of being versus non-being. Philosophical voice. God speaks to Noah, not just about him, revealing intimacy amid cosmic judgment. He speaks to the one man who, in a world utterly corrupted, still walked with him, whose life stood apart. Hebrew scholar. Ketz kol basar bal fanai. The end of all flesh has come before me. This is the precise Hebrew for the phrase denoting absolute finality. Not pause or transformation, but ultimate end. Voice of eschatological physics. This is sudden cosmic termination, revolutionary and decisive. Philosophical voice. All flesh. Kol basar. No exceptions. Human, animal, creeping things. The entire biosphere is marked for termination. Mystical voice. Alfanai. The end is presented like evidence in the divine courtroom, inevitable. Voice of temporal paradox. The end has come eternally, the future in time. God's eternal present collapses time. Chapter 2. The causal chain. The destroyer revealed. Genesis chapter 6:13b. For the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Hebrew scholar. Because the earth is filled, mala, with violence, shamas, through humanity. Voice of systems theory. The earth reached its saturation point. Violence becomes self-destructive. Voice of metaphysical ecology. Humans are the vector infecting creation. Moral choices have cosmic impact. Voice of theodicy. Justice emerges internally. The earth condemns itself. Hebrew scholar. Hineni mashchittam et haaretz. God identifies himself with destruction. Voice of divine self-revelation. God is creator and destroyer. Same essence, different manifestation. Philosophical voice. I will destroy them with the earth. The earth corrupted is the instrument of its own destruction. Voice of dialectical theology. Love and wrath are dialectical. Infinite corruption negates love. Chapter 3. The command of salvation. Genesis 6:14. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and you shall pitch it inside and outside with pitch. Voice of salvific paradox. The word that destroys also commands salvation. This is the utterly unearned, breathtaking promise of covenant, berith, the first whisper of this sacred bond in all of Scripture, a divine initiative to preserve life when all seems lost. Hebrew scholar. Asehilcha tevat adzei gopher. Vachaparta ota mebait umichuts bakofer. Voice of creative resistance. God commands creation in face of destruction. The ark is defiance and hope. This was an act of profound counter-cultural defiance, demanding every fiber of his being against a world that scorned God's truth. Philosophical voice. Lacha. For yourself. Salvation is partnership. Voice of material theology. Gopher wood, likely cypress, symbolizes incorruptibility. Grace works through material means. Linguistic voice. Teva, ark, parallels Moses' basket. Salvation through water that destroys others. Voice of architectural theology. The ark has rooms, chinim, an ordered structure uniting diversity. Voice of cooperative salvation, God's design and human labor cooperate in preservation. Voice of systematic grace. Rooms represent diversity accommodated in unity. Pitch inside and outside. Voice of protective theology. Gopher pitch shares root with kippur, atonement. The ark is sealed with atonement, a protective covering. Mystical voice. Complete coverage symbolizes total spiritual protection, prefiguring Christ's blood. Chapter 4. The Sacred Geometry. Genesis 6:15. This is how you are to make it. The length 300 cubits, breadth 50 cubits, height 30 cubits. Hebrew scholar. Precise divine dimensions signify cosmic order in salvation. Voice of sacred mathematics. 300 baths, 150 os 30. Deliberate proportions. Length, width, EO 6.1. Designed for stability and endurance. Philosophical voice. Numbers convey theological meaning. 300, completeness. 50, jubilee, liberation. 30, maturity. Voice of engineering spirituality. God's measured grace reflected in precise design. Chapter 5. Divine architecture. Light, access, and levels. Genesis chapter 6:18. Make a roof for the ark, and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. Hebrew scholar. Zohar, window. Petach, door. Taktihim shnihim ushlishim. 3 decks. Voice of illuminated salvation. The window brings light and breath, a spiritual symbol of hope amid judgment. Philosophical voice. Light represents vision, life, and divine perspective. Voice of accessible salvation. One door signifies the sole way into salvation, foreshadowing Christ's declaration. I am the door. Voice of invitation and choice. The door is open. Decision and faith are required. Christological voice. The door in the side prefigures Christ's pierced side, the source of life and grace. Voice of hierarchical preservation. 3 decks symbolize ordered salvation. Diversity arranged in unity. Mystical voice. May represent body, soul, spirit, or earth, sea, sky, encompassing all creation. Conclusion. The Ark, the ultimate blueprint of mercy and obedience. Noah's Ark is a divine masterpiece, a living testimony of obedience amid apocalypse. Each detail, wood, rooms, pitch, dimensions, window, door, decks, speaks God's intentional design for salvation. Noah's labor was a faithful protest against cosmic chaos. A call to us to build spiritual arks through obedience, faith, and hope. The ark is a type of Christ, our true refuge. Like the ark, Christ was fashioned of wood. The cross, symbolic of incorruptibility, sealed with his own blood, the ultimate atonement, and entered through a wound, his pierced side. The door is open. Will you enter? What is God calling you to build in faith today? For prayer or questions, connect at christforlife1438gmail.com. Subscribe for more deep scripture journeys.